Hello everyone and welcome back to the Purveyor in Fallout 76. We're back to spend another 1000 scrip on 3-star legendary ranged weapons, and I'll talk a little bit about each item, what makes it good, bad, or otherwise, and also how some of the recent damage changes in One Wasteland might affect their desirability. Remember, if you like videos like this and want to see more, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. I upload new Fallout 76 content every week on the channel, so there's always plenty more to come. Alright, let's see what new ways Mama Mumbles has to break our hearts today. Alright, and our first weapon will be a Troubleshooter's Handmade with 50% more critical damage and 90% reduced weight. Alright, well, the trend continues. I throw a little shade at Mama Mumbles and she hands me something good, so not too bad. Now, I say something good. This one's not amazing. Troubleshooters is not the most desirable effect in the game, but now that we have daily ops where we are regularly and predictably facing heavy-duty robot opponents, things like Troubleshooters weapons and Troubleshooters armor are going to be a bit more desirable than they once were. This one's also pretty good because it gives us extra VATS critical damage, so even if we're not facing robots, that can still be useful. And with 90% reduced weight, it does make it easier to keep in our stash. So kind of a pretty solid combination here. There's a little something for all the time, little something to make it easy, not bad. Alright, and a Hunter's Broadsider. Well, there's just really nothing good about this one. Damage to animals, who cares? Bashing damage, who cares? VATS critical meter fills faster, who cares? On top of all that, it's a Broadsider. It just isn't good, and that's a shame. In Fallout 4, the Broadsider was a lot of fun, but in Fallout 76, it just isn't. It's a very disappointing weapon, doesn't seem to do damage the way it should, and that's probably true of all the explosive launcher weapons in Fallout 76, so disappointing. Okay, I take it all back, Mama Mumbles. What are you doing here? All right, 2 Broadsiders in a row. This one with limb damage, which I guess could actually be useful on an area of effect weapon, even though this one's way too slow to be good. And vampires, which I like the vampire's effect, but not on a slow firing weapon. That just doesn't do anybody any good. And once again, it's still a Broadsider. Okay, this is a little better. A Mutant's Assault Rifle with bashing damage and 250 DR while reloading. The Mutant's effect is not super strong, but it's also not nothing. I kind of like the Assault Rifle. I've been tinkering around with a few, and you can expect to see a weapon showdown with some of them coming up in the not-too-distant future. I like it. It's a fun weapon. It's fun to use. So there is something useful about this. But let's see what else we got. Alright, it's a Vampire's Radium Rifle with faster fire rate and 50 damage resistance while aiming. So, pretty good set of effects for a weapon that we can make an automatic rifle. Vampires, you want a fast fire rate. That's what makes vampires useful. For a slow weapon, it doesn't really do you a whole lot of good. But on an automatic weapon, it definitely helps keep you alive, especially in things like daily ops. So this is a good choice for the Blood Eagle daily ops where that extra rad damage is really going to help you. So good solid roll, definitely situations where it's really useful, and the Radium Rifle is just cool. It's a very unique weapon. So I'm a big fan of the weapon itself, and I definitely like this combination of effects. What I don't like is how Fallout 76 handles getting mods for the Radium Rifle. For whatever reason, you've got to craft just hundreds on hundreds of these things to get all the mods that you're going to want. That's really disappointing. It's really frustrating. I think it's a bug because it's not consistent with anything else, so hopefully they fix it in the future, but until then, this is still a really good set of effects on a pretty decent weapon. And what do we get next? Let's take a look. We've got a Troubleshooters Gamma Gun with damage while aiming and faster movement speed while aiming. So this one's kind of interesting. I'm not sure if radiation damage affects robots or not, but the wide area of effect with this weapon could be interesting during daily ops where those robots kind of attack you in hordes. So might be a fun one to try out and see how it does. And now we have a Suppressor's 10mm submachine gun with bashing damage and less VATS AP cost. I do like the reduction in AP cost. That's a good effect to have on this weapon. 10mm do tend to burn up your AP a little bit. Suppressors is kind of interesting for daily ops. Having somebody on your team who's hitting enemies with something like that, reducing their damage output, could potentially be very useful. I don't think we're at the point where team play mechanics are that advanced yet, but it could be something down the line that people look at. And now we have another Suppressor's weapon, a Gatling gun with limb damage and perception, so interesting for the same reasons as the 10mm submachine gun. Could be a useful team play mechanic. Limb damage isn't bad. On a ranged weapon against big enemies, you can slow them down. Perception helps with your VATS targeting, etc., etc. Not a terrible roll, not a great roll. Now this one's much better. We've got a Junkies Gauss pistol with bashing damage and 90% reduced weight. Bashing damage I hate. That's just not good at all in Fallout 76, but it is what it is. 90% reduced weight is definitely helpful. Pistol is often something you might carry as a sidearm, and a Gauss pistol does pretty solid damage even if you're not built for it, so that's a good effect to have here. The Junkies effect is definitely good if you're a Junkies build. Then again, you're going to do pretty solid damage with a weapon like that. And last roll of the day is a Furious Gatling Plasma with faster fire rate and a VATS critical meter that fills 15% faster. Now, again, I've said things like this before. I don't know how much VATS usage is really going to get done with a weapon like this, but maybe some. But the big thing here is Furious is a great effect for fast-firing weapons because you want to stack that damage up with each shot. Faster fire rate is awesome on a heavy gun. It just boosts your DPS through the roof. So not a bad roll at all for a heavy gunner. This might be one that I keep around for when I convert one of my other characters to heavy guns for a weapon showcase later on. We'll take a look at that as time goes on. But that, ladies and gentlemen, brings us to the end of today's video. As always, if you found this enjoyable, useful, or anything in between, go ahead and like, subscribe, and leave a comment. There's always a lot more to come, and I hope to see you next time. Till then, I'm Fisty McRib.